Good morning. So, first of all, um, well, I'm not going to apologize. I will tell you to react in however you feel about me not making that update. Not on Friday, not on Saturday, not on Sunday. I I wasn't so much not physically up to it. I don't know if I was mentally up to it. I think I had more in my mind than I wanted to admit, and and I took some time to just think. And when you're on the job, you're around people, or you have money. You don't really need that time. But I think when you don't have any of those things, um, and sometimes it feels like you do. Feel fine now. I do feel like I don't know if I'm working today. I couldn't tell you what my schedule is going to look like, but if there's a good amount of time to work out, I'm going to make the most of it. Um, what I'm doing for this morning's videos is a little different. There's a little bit about the news, and I encourage you to check that out. All the news, not just what I added. And there'll be time for some matches today. But basically, I just went through WWE's current champions and gave a quick thought on all of them based on what they've been doing, based on um, what WWE's been doing with them, and and just a little bit of firebending, I think. The last one, the Evolved Champion, um, I felt like that was a little bit harder to think of. I was trying to find, because I think the crux of that championship and the person that went over, the person that went under, was partly a story about how it's taken me so long to get there, while I've had so much constant, whether it's help or hunters, people have been there. Maybe I can't always see them, but they have been there. Um, so, while of course, I don't think it's lost on me, and it shouldn't be lost on you, that there were a lot of people that really never wanted to see me make it in pro wrestling. They made some very um, political moves, some very gangsterish moves to try and drive me out of it, whether it was the tattoos or any connection to Death Note, or because there have been, you know, or it was a race thing, or what, and you know who those people are, and you know who they're, or you can tell who benefited from it and who didn't. Um, but I'm not worried about that today. I'm just worried about today mostly. Um, but for that last one, I would say for the parts that I was in control of, um, you can't grow your emotional maturity, I think, faster than you actually did grow it. You are where you are, and you often probably, especially with this age of having really awesome handheld devices, phones, quick access to internet history, history of the world, so many different medias to help expand our minds, that our emotional maturity um, is grown as fast as possible, as well as your athletic prowess. I didn't really do anything athletic, I don't think, until, I mean, like a little bit, but like nothing. I wouldn't say anything for like a full season. I was, yeah, nothing for a full season until I got to reality of wrestling. So basically, started being an athlete. And I worked out a little bit, like on my own in high school and was able to drop some weight, but I wouldn't consider that anything truly athletic. So I didn't really start doing anything athletic until I got there in, you know, tail end of 2013. Um, and I like, that was the same time I became a personal trainer. I wanted to become athletic. I wanted to understand as much about it as I could. And I did. Um, I did get better about it. But I also still had a lot of growing up to do. I had a lot of um, discipline that I needed to instill. I had instilled in myself, but I had to instill it in myself as well. So I went through a lot of jobs in my 20s. I left some early. Didn't always stick out. Didn't always go from one job immediately to the next. And so I would say if you're coming up, especially if you're coming up and you don't have parents who are going to really be there to, keep you going in the right direction, and you have to raise yourself a bit, it's going to be important that you know that you need to, once you start working, even if you don't like the job, to stick with it until you find the next job, and to try and stay with any job you're at for as long as you can. If you decide to work 2 jobs, don't try and work more than, 50, 60 hours. Make sure that you have time for other things. Don't just be working. I promise you, no matter who you are going to burn out, or you're going to be someone who no one wants to be around. And even if you have money, if you're always working, you're probably not going to be spending it on much that, maybe if all you want in life is just an apartment or a house and just be on your own working, then it probably works for you. If you want to live a little, if you want to see some of the world, if you want to see just the world from what you can see when you have free time, you're going to want to work, less than 50 or 60 hours. I don't like to tell people don't slack off in school. I tell people to try and enjoy learning, right? Don't look at it from a negative aspect. Look at it from a positive, like this is, you get to be around a bunch of people in an active speaking environment. You get to group think, you get to workshop, you get to learn stuff. You get to do all these things that when you're an adult and you don't have the opportunity to go to school, and you don't really get the opportunity to even go out much, that you do miss. So whether you're still in grade school or you're in college, make the most of it always. Take notes, enjoy the subject, respect the craft of the subject that you're learning, and its applications. The last thing I'll say before I tell you, I guess my plans for Monday and just I wish I could think of more quotes and more like movie scenes that kind of encapsulate when you need to kind of talk to someone younger, or you're talking to maybe a younger version of you and asking them to learn from your mistakes or to do better. But I do find myself often going to one from Randy Orton's documentary where he talked about stirring up some trouble back when, he was first with evolution and everything. And, he would tell Triple H, like, oh, I'm just young and dumb or something. And then Triple H just cut him off and he said, well, okay, so you're young and dumb. Okay, well then you tell me, Randy, what's the cutoff age for young and dumb? What age do you, start being an adult, since you know that you're young and dumb right now? When is that? So that I can know, so that we can tell everyone else. I do try and think on that. You're always gonna carry a bit of your, I think, childhood self with you in life, to the day you leave this world. But as you get older, that adult part of you, you really do love, I think, just as much. And so I think on that. So that's why I don't try and hold, other than those moments where someone did do something that, I think most people would say would have crossed the line. Um, but I don't hold anyone else accountable, for the jobs that I've lost, or the way my college career went, or the way things went for me in grade school. You know, for the way I spent my money for all of my paychecks. That was all on me. It was. And that's part of the reason why I'm 32 right now, and I'm not currently, because I could honestly, if I had gotten my shit together a little sooner, who knows? I could have already been a world champion and be like semi-retired from wrestling and be an EMT right now. In college, this could all already be, you know, um, we could be moving things along on a lot faster. Um, so I do think on that. But I'll leave you to this. So today, well, for the rest of the week, I'll be kind of stretching my supplies on everything, and I don't really have a lot of supplies, if anything, left. So, like, just for the next 4 days, I would look at other people. Um, we've gone through John Cena's retirement. I think it's a good time to see what other people are doing, especially those that are in a position to do a lot. This week. I'll be making the most of my time. I'll be trying to kind of do it all today. From sketching to maybe studying to gaming to maybe working on clearing the YouTube loader some. I might work out. I should work out. And I'll have that update. And I'll be there for Raw, whether I'm working or not. I'll have it on. If I'm working, of course, I won't be paying attention, but I'll be kind of listening. So, enjoy Monday. I wouldn't hold anything too close to heart for what I gave for those reviews. Mostly, I'm still dealing with some, I guess, red eye from last week. But if it lit a fire under you, cool. If not, I'm sure someone will. So make the most of the week. Hopefully the holidays are going to be a good one for you. Make some memories. Maybe some of these people out there that are not doing such a good job of not ruining the holidays, at least, maybe they can go hang out with each other and leave us people who want to enjoy the holidays to enjoy some good times. So with that, happy Monday, and set your heart ablaze.